Understanding balancing is one of the quickest ways to improve individually as well as on a team. Watch the video to the end to unlock one of the core mechanics of professional Counter-Strike. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another session here at the Gosu Academy. Today what we'll be talking about is what I like to call balancing. On a map like Anubis, for example, if my team wants to go and pop B, we can actually use exactly this example I just did. If we have been, doing B lurk smoke every single round, and we've been going B 3 times in a row, well, even if we now are going to go mid or A, we will still want to do the same utility on B. That's the whole idea of balancing, basically. You make sure that no matter which round you run, you make it look like a normal round. If you've ever watched a pro Counter-Strike match, what you will have probably seen is that the window smoke from spawn gets thrown basically every single round. Not because the T's every single round will go mid, but it's because in the rounds where they don't go out mid, they will want to make it look the same. Otherwise, if they wouldn't smoke mid window on rounds where they actually don't go mid, it will be extremely easy to read from the CTs. Balancing is just keeping the T's, or like the CTs in check if you do it as a T, and then vice versa. We have in my team right now a round on CT where we double push slope immediately in the round, basically. Like we just do the Molotov from back here, and then we have 2 rifles who come close, and they just walk here and they try to kill, basically. And after the Molotov, they just immediately walk forward, they clear these things, and they try to take like instant timing behind top mid. Normally, when you're a con player and people are going out mid, you do this smoke almost every single round, right? And the problem with our con player pushing slope at the start is that this is basically the only round where we don't have a bottom con smoke. So even though the con player might not be aggressively fighting, and even though the T's might not see the con player, what they will see is that this smoke is missing only on rounds where we double push ramp. But it's just important that this player goes and does the con smoke at the start of the round so that it looks the same. And then this player can even just stand and hold over short, for example. That way, even though we again sort of are giving up area, because if the AWP now plays around connector, it means now we are giving up the window space, right? But so long as the round is balanced and we are throwing the same pieces of utility, it's much more difficult for the T's to know which area we are giving up. It was not so much about having, a strat book or a playbook, as some people call it, with, let's say, 30 strats. What he would much rather have is a strat book with 10 strats and 3 variations for each. What I mean with this is that I'll run you through some tactics. You can go AXEC. You can go AXEC, but where you go before the smokes. You can go, do deep smokes. You can rush 3 pellets at the start. You can go contact. You can, take mid with window smoke or with con smoke. You can, B pop. You can B rush. You can B split. You can have 1 mid. You can have 3 mid. You can have. There's like a million different things you can do on just Mirage. But what was more important for Cyclone was having, let's say 10 strats. I even think 10 strats was a lot, but where they had 3 variations for each. So I'll show you an example. This is a regular A execute in terms of smokes, right? And say we take the bomb site and we have it as a goal to take CT and plant the bomb for CT. That is an example of just an A execute. But when I played with Cyclone, and again, this was like 8 years ago by now, we had an A execute where I was doing the stair smoke, I think, from like B house. And for my teammates, the goal of this round would be, after doing the smokes, instead of taking CT, they would be planning from mid. And then me as AWP, I would be coming late short with an AWP and be playing the after plan from here with AWP as an AWP lurk, basically. And this is just something where I haven't seen many teams run it since, but I do think it's still very good. The reason why this strat worked was because of balancing and the fact that we had a variation where we did something else. We did the same exact utility, but on one of them we would fight towards CT and we would plan for this, and on another we would plan for mid and we would be like having me lurk from short, right? And then maybe we could have a variation where whatever, we did the same utility, we planned it for mid, but then instead of taking CT, we fell back and I wouldn't be lurking. And now, as you can see, this is an example of having, one strat with 3 variations. By not balancing your own individual play, you are also doing yourself a disservice. If whatever, an A player always Molotovs and runs close and instantly smokes Palace. Now it's kind of the same case, because some people do this. Now it's kind of the same case. They didn't do a good job at balancing their own individual play, and so if we have the tool of how to counter this, it could be just like, if he is playing alone a lot, we could do like heavy mid pressure and have just 2 or 3 guys walking out slope and searching the duel on him, for example. Because we know he has no blocking util. If you have the tool and the opponent didn't balance their play, it's really easy to win against. It goes on CT as well. One of the best things you can do is, again, think about variations, because it allows you to run the strat in a match and then also to later in the same match run the variation. That way it becomes a sort of conditioning in a way, where you pull out a unique tactic, the other team has never seen it before, but if you are a step ahead, you can predict how the opponents are going to try and counter the tactic the second time they see it, and have a variation that wins again against the counter that they are making. Okay, so I'll tell you already, Mattis is the B player, and look how rarely he is playing in B house. So here it's actually Crims playing in B house. This is because Crims is the normal A lurk, and I guess Fnatic from Spawn have decided they want to end B. This can sort of be a balancing issue, because if now someone pushes B and kills Crims, they know it's the A player, and then they know the round is planned to end on B. So that's a small balancing issue. But here, no one playing in B house. Next buy round, no one playing in B house. Next buy round, he starts in B house, but immediately goes underground to mid. No one in B house. Go next round. No one in B house. Go next round. This is in a different match. No one in B house. This is a different, here, Blame F is in B house. So now if you would push and kill Blame F, again, he's not B player. So you should know something is weird. Next round, no one in B house. And these are only buy rounds, by the way. This round, Blame F in B house. So again, if you kill him, you should know it's supposed to end B. In this case, they go mini B, and Mattis is entering, so, But here again, no one in B house. So basically, your B lurk player is never playing in B. And I see this as a big balancing issue, because the way top teams will normally approach it is that, the B player is sometimes going underground and helping develop mid control, and other times he is staying B house and holding for the push, right? Crims starts B, no pressure. Next round, no pressure. Next round, no pressure. Next round, no pressure. And this is only the buy rounds, right? There's not one time, basically, where they do any pressure on the B side. And I mean, okay, I'm not here to just slander Fnatic or something, right? It's strictly for the sake of educational purposes for me and you, but also notice that on A, no pressure. On A, here there is pressure in this round because they want to end on A. They bring the bomb on A. Here, they bring the bomb on A. Now there's A pressure. Now they don't bring the bomb. No A pressure. I mean, they kill Crims, but no A pressure other than this. Next round, no A pressure. Basically, Fnatic don't do any pressure on the sides as T. And again, I think this is a big balancing issue, because it kind of means you can disregard the bomb sites if you have them smoked and focus on fighting mid at the start of rounds. Or at the very least, you could even almost hold your utility to some extent if you're a side player. Like the B player, for example. Like if you just jump with utility the whole round, you can just do that. And also, if you are B player, like in almost 9 out of 10 rounds, there is, okay, maybe not 9 out of 10, but like 8 out of 10 rounds, there's a timing to insta-push B. And these kind of things are dangerous. No offense to myself, if I can figure this out with my spare time in my vacation in a 30-minute window or whatever, and you guys can figure it out by just skimming through it, like this is a really big balancing issue that makes them very readable on T. But if we go Mirage T side and we look only at their A execute rounds, so as you can see, they haven't done like much A from Palace or A execute with Deep Smoke, blah blah blah, like these are set strats, sort of, right? But when they do A execute, they've done this 3 times in the last 3 months on full buy rounds. In this round, they do mid smokes and nothing else. Not even a flash, not a Molotov, nothing. And then they do A execute. Next buy round. This is also an A execute. Here they go and do double nade mid and Molotov. And now they full leave mid. And then, you know, the A execute comes late when they actually already lost a player in B. And now they execute. The last time that they execute, they did 2 smokes in mid, no flash, no molo, nothing, and then they just do execute. If we remove the execute, we just look at the buy rounds, look at how they use utility in mid when they actually are mid. Flash, Molotov, nade, another nade, and now they go. Next round. Smoke, flash, flash, molo, and running. Next round. Smoke, smoke. In this case, they are actually going A, but they have a lurk, and again, they throw nothing in mid. So even though this isn't an A execute, it's a balancing issue from the fact that they go A and don't throw anything in mid in this case. Next round, they go mid, flash, flash, and now they go mid. Next round, molo, and fighting as well, right? And they do smokes and flash and molo and nade and everything. I think I've kind of made my case here, but the point is, when Fnatic want to play through mid, they always throw utility. And when they go A, they, majority of the time, don't throw any utility in mid. I hope it's clear for you guys as well why that is an issue, right? Like, if I was an opponent to Fnatic now, I would say, listen to the flashes in mid. If they don't throw a single flash in mid, it means they're gonna go A. And then we just rotate to stack A. The answer that I came up with is that Fnatic need to have more passive mid defaults. Well, they only technically need one, but they need to just run it sometimes. If they would have window smoke only, or maybe do like both smokes, and then they wait after the smokes basically, they re-smoke these smokes, and they develop mid control without any nades in mid at the start of the round, then if the CTs see no utility in mid, and their response to that is let's go and block the A side, then Fnatic can take mid control very easily late. If you would throw delayed mid defaults into the mix, all of a sudden it's balanced and no one can know, is the A execute coming now or is the delayed mid take coming now? I will show you one individual balancing issue I see. Full buy rounds from Fnatic against half buy rounds. Here they're playing a sort of standard round, but there is an issue. Crims here is playing very far out short, and the rotations are far away, you see? No window player, and con player is basically top of con. This means if the T's would do a B pop right now, Crims would definitely be able to get kind of back into this angle, but he is pretty far from the bomb site. And so if you would, you know, do the short smoke that lands in the middle of short, or even do like the kind of McDonald's smokes, like this side of arch and this side of arch, Mattis all of a sudden becomes very alone with kind of late rotation. Next round. Here, they play without a short player. Here, Crims gets boosted on short, so he is kind of playing out short again, and so is Mattis in this case, right? And on the last one, Crims is playing out short. This is, again, I think a massive balancing issue that has been overlooked. And I am specifically looking for these things, right? So for me, it is obvious, and when I show it to you guys, it's obvious. But I understand why something like this can sometimes go overlooked, even by coaches, even by whatever. Because it's really only if you almost anti-strat yourself, you will notice these things. If you ask me, this is a massive issue. Like here, B-side is weak. Here, B-side would have been weak if it wasn't for the fact that they did, Consmog at start. Here, B-side is very weak. Here, B-side is, sort of weak. At least you have two players playing from short. And then in this round, B-side is, I guess, not as weak because BlameF is fast rotation to B. If your short player always plays far away from B when he's playing against low money, that is something that can be abused. I just want to say thank you so much for being here at the session with me.